Yo, what's up, man? How's your week, buddy? Yeah, and I'm pretty excited about what we got to talk about today. So, yeah, really juicy. Sup, club. Ooh.
I just realized, oh, sorry. I've been sitting there talking. Thank you for letting me know. Now I should be. I unclicked both of them from my.
So now you got to restart live. So now you got to restart, man. All right.
Well, welcome to this week's episode of Cartridge to Cloud. I'm your host, Slap Shifter X with Ginger Flame. We're going to go through some of the topics today. The new Twitch controversy, which I don't know how they could do it again, but there's, here we are again. An NDA game leaker gets caught and exposed for who he is. Cyberpunk 2077 makes a comeback. And definitely more on those. But kind of getting started, some of the Twitch controversy, as if we didn't get enough of it last week. We got a fun update, which kind of came in twos, which was interesting enough. And it all came at really odd hours. Like most of the stuff was released at like 2 or 3 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, which is where Twitch primarily, heads out of. And first it started with the gambling sites. So in the last week or a couple weeks, people started petitioning to try to like stop the gambling sites, which kind of comes from like video games to slots to other stuff. Kind of goes around a little bit of the other stuff. So what Twitch has done, they've responded to it, and they announced a huge change to it, saying, let me pull it up. And this is directly from Twitch on their Twitter. Gambling content on Twitch has been a topic of discussion in the community and something we've been actively reviewing since our last policy update in this area. Today, we want to update you on our plans. While we prohibit sharing links and referral codes to all sites, including slots, roulettes, dice games, and we've seen some people who circumvent those rules and expose our community to potential harm. So we're making a policy update on October 18th to prohibit streaming of gambling sites such as including slots, roulette, dice games that aren't licensed either in the US or other jurisdictions that provide sufficient consumer protection. These sites will include shake.com, rollbit.com, duelbits.com, and roobet.com. However, we may identify others as well moving forward. We'll continue to allow websites that focus on sports betting, fantasy sports, and poker. We'll share specifics on the updates in our gambling policy soon, including in a full policy language to make sure everyone is clear on our new rules before they take effect on October 18th. Yes. I don't know about Salty Bet. They didn't mention Salty Bet in that list. But Stake, Rollbit, Duelbits, and Roobet so far. But yeah, they didn't. I don't think they got rid of Salty Bet. So what are your thoughts on this so far with the gambling?
So yeah, dude. So for the gambling stuff, I'm kind of glad that they're getting rid of it. For one, I mean, it really has no place on Twitch, in my opinion, for the whole gambling thing. Now there are certain things that I think that are okay, but real life gambling can be kind of an issue. I feel like, especially with the age groups that kind of watch Twitch, right? So it's just beginning to, I mean, people are going to think, hey, you can gamble, we'll lose all your money, and it's okay. Because if you look at one of the biggest gambling streamers, which is XQC, I mean, that dude even wants certain things to be banned. So, which is kind of weird, right? So, and he spent millions and millions of dollars playing gambling games. So online. I do agree with you. Poker is exempt. I'm happy because I love playing me some Texas Hold'em. I think that's okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. And I even think that Pokimane was even like rooting for it too. So a lot of top streamers are really, really going after it. And like, hey, Twitch, you need to crack down on these gambling streams. It's not good for the health of the people that are watching. Cause you're supposed to be 13 to watch Twitch, but even at that age, you're not even allowed to gamble yet. So why are you allowed to fully watch somebody do it? Right. So that's kind of my thoughts. I'm kind of glad they're getting rid of it. Unless the games are for like fun, right? I mean, which I played poker games, which are just for fun. I've played slots, which are just for fun. There is no real money involved. So real money just needs to keep out of it. So right. I'm actually kind of glad for it.
Yeah, and it's nothing but a good thing. I mean, like gambling addiction is definitely one of those big things that especially has come up in more recent years too, as things have kind of spiced up in that regard. And then just having other avenues for people to see it and show it off and potentially get other people, hooked on that kind of stuff. It's just not good overall. Right. I mean, plus, especially on a site that's like Twitch. I mean, we want to support everything we can on the platforms we choose, right? But having kind of like predatory practices also is not exactly great either, especially in some of those cases where these sites in particular were banned for or being removed for. Pokemon's thing was kind of funny. She was like, "Hey, how would y'all think about tell me if you want to ban gambling or something." And then she responds back like a week later or a couple days after it happened. It's like, yeah, see what we did or see what I did or something. I'm like,
yeah, right. Right. Like it was all you, lady, but sure.
But it's kind of funny though.
I mean, but she did have a lot to do with it. So.
Well, yeah. She was a bit advocate for it. I mean, XQC, Pokimane, Ms. Kiff, and Trainwreck. Like some of the big streamers were all like, banding together to actually get it done. And hey, for once, Twitch actually listened when it had to come with their money being at stake. When other streamers are like, "Well, if you don't get rid of it, we're gonna get rid of us for you," which is basically, kind of a interesting statement. It's like, okay, well, if you don't deal with this problem, you're gonna have us to deal with after that because we're gonna go somewhere else and do stuff.
Well, and that's really goes in the next topic, anyways. I think that's gonna happen, but we'll wait for that topic to come up. So
yeah, and kind of following is almost an hour later. Which kind of broke almost immediately after. Twitch changes its revenue share starting next year, and it'll primarily affect large earning streamers. Let me go ahead and bring this guy up real quick. It's kind of ridiculous. It's like because it was one right after the other, and it was kind of the wording on it was really weird.
Right.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't.
It's gonna piss off a lot of people for sure.
Okay, here it goes. So it started. The tweet goes. Actually, it was the next day. Sorry, it wasn't a few hours later. It was the next day.
Right, Warborn. Oh, dude, there's so many people that are gonna be pissed.
So,
Anyways,
in our latest blog post, we tackle a topic that has been at the forefront of community for some time: the revenue split. We also provide a related update around monetization for a subset of partners. Which subset? So this includes pretty much some of the biggest earners on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Dan Clancy coming on September 21st saying, "Hello, Twitch community. I'm Dan Clancy, president of Twitch and responsible for the day-to-day operations of the service. FYI, this blog is targeted to streamers, but everyone, of course, is welcome to read along with us. This morning, we reached out to a subset of streamers about some upcoming changes to their agreement terms. This blog gives us an opportunity to be clear with all streamers on Twitch about those changes and talk more broadly about our strategy to help streamers make more money on our service. Streamers are always and always will be the foundation of global community. It's your passion, hard work, and creativity that make Twitch one of a kind place it is. To bring it back around more directly to this blog's topic, we can't run the service unless you make money. That's not a drawback. It's by design. This innate partnership is why we support all streamers' careers, ambitions, like they're our own. Before we talk about what's happening next, we need to share some information on the context. For subscriptions, we use a baseline revenue share of 50-50, which is what everybody gets. Affiliates, partners up to a certain degree and everything. Oh, at least up until this point.
But it's actually partners until they get a special contract with them.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
For subscription, we use a baseline revenue of 50-50 on the net revenue from those earnings. The vast majority of Twitch streamers have these in their terms of their agreement. However, for some time, we did offer standard agreements with premium subscription terms to select streamers as they grew larger. This isn't something we've talked about publicly, but such deals are common knowledge within the streamer community. Historically, we didn't have a consistent framework to determine who would receive those deals, when or where. Over a year ago, we made this decision to begin to stop offering these premium agreements to new streamers not already on these terms. As we reflected on how we've handled these premium deals, we realized a few problems. First, we had not been transparent about the existence of such deals. Secondly, we are not in consistent qualification criteria, and we generally went to larger streamers. Finally, we don't believe it's right for those on standard contracts to have varied revenue shares based on the size of the streamer. Which, to stop there, it is true. Like, why would you give like special treatment to one, just a select subset of streamers without actual criteria, which they admit? Which bottom line is just bad for business. Kind of moving on. In an ideal world, all streamers would have the same set of terms regardless of size. However, instituting that policy would have negative impact on streamers currently on these terms, many of whom were instrumental in helping us build Twitch we know today. The Twitch that we know today. These streamers have come to depend on the additional revenue split to maintain their standard of living, which is very true. Like, basically making a living off of Twitch by itself is pretty hard as it is.
It is pretty hard, right?
For those
and everybody knows that.
Oh, yeah. For these streamers still on those premium deals, we're adjusting that deal so they retain their 70-30 split for the first 100K earned through subscription revenue. Revenue above 100K will be split at the standard 50-50, which kind of sucks. It's like basically saying, okay, cool, you make your livable wage, which 100K is pretty close to livable wage across most parts of the country or even the world at this point, right? Like, that's a good wage, but it's still, We're announcing the change now, but it won't go effect until after June 1st, 2023. After that point, streamers will only be affected once their existing contract is up for renewal. All streamers with these terms have already received this information and more via email, and we'll make sure to give them exact updates and timelines as we get closer to June 1st, 2023. Which is, I guess, is kind of cool. They're telling everybody, like, yeah, we've already notified those people. But I mean, at the same time, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like, why you could say it in pretty broad terms without having to say, like, we're targeting these people specifically.
Well, yeah. And so here, if you remember like a few weeks ago, right, where they announced like the payout is a lot smaller now too, in order to actually get your payout, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that so I think that was a precursor to what's going on here.
Which is coming up, in this part of in the next part of it.
Right. So, I mean, if you really think about it, where does Twitch make their money? Do you really think that they make their money off of our subs?
No.
Come on.
I think no. I want to say a large chunk of it is. Absolutely. I wouldn't say it's above 40%, though. I would say I would say
No.
probably the largest amount of it is probably their
The
ads.
Exactly. And what are they pushing onto the streamers now?
Ads.
Hey, run fucking 6 ads every 30 minutes and we get what out of it? Like 45-50% or something?
It's something like that.
I mean, like, it's huge. I mean, like, it's a pretty decent sized revenue off of the ads. So they're saying, hey, streamers, we love you guys. We love how you guys get your subs in your communities. You know what? But we want to pay you more.
But what? Yeah,
We want to get paid more too. So we need to run more ads so more ad companies come over to us. That's exactly what's going on here.
And that's where it kind of lies the problem too, because they're still only giving 5% more, which we'll go into this next section here of the ad revenue. So now it gets into the breakdown. So for approximately 90% of the streamers on the standard agreements with premium subscription terms, this change will not affect them at their current revenue. For those who are affected, we wanted to make sure the impact was minimal, not by just giving them ample time before the deal goes into effect, but also offering an alternative way to earn revenue. Our recent bump in ads revenue share to 55%, 5% more than your standard revenue, as part of the ads incentive program is a great way for these larger streamers to make up the most, if not all, of what the revenue, which is a goddamn lie. Right, I'm going to stop right there. It is a lie. You do almost no streamer makes hardly anything off of ad revenue on Twitch. You make more in ad revenue on YouTube than you do on Twitch, even at 55%.
You really do. And that's why I'm saying, but they want to be able to run more ads on every single channel because it's going to draw in more revenue for them.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for the streamer. And most high-end streamers don't even make most of their money from Twitch.
they make more of their stuff from everywhere else, but even if you're thinking as Twitch as a baseline, the majority of your revenue isn't necessarily your subscription. It's primarily your subscriptions, but it's not like bits or ads or anything like that. So it's just you guys should be doing bathtub streams.
I just read that too.
I mean,
not with Tommy, but I might do one myself, but definitely not on the INN channel though.
Throwing away a good opportunity here. Do you hear this, guys? Just kidding.
Dude, I am never getting in the bathtub with you, bro. Sorry, man. Ain't happening.
TwitchCon hot tub stream. Oh man. Anyway, in a reality of our business that we will, in rare cases, continue to negotiate custom agreements on a case-by-case basis. However, we have been reducing how often we offer these deals and total value of these deals. Now let's get into the big question. Why not 70-30? Which is, by the way, on top, even medium to larger tier streamers automatically get 70-30 on every other platform, if not more on some of them.
And this is why I think after the first of the year, you will start to see a lot of people, in my opinion, including myself, because I've been thinking about it pretty hard, and I'm not gonna lie, switching to YouTube, man. YouTube is discoverability. It's got the YouTube Shorts, okay, so which is like your TikTok. The payouts better, the ads are better, even though all my ads are always EVE Online because that's all I ever search for and play for the most part. And the problem is with YouTube is like there's just not a lot of support, right? Twitch actually gives you a lot of tools and support and stuff. So we'll definitely see. Either way, though, I think that we're going to start seeing a lot of people going for YouTube. They're going to start moving to YouTube.
Well, we've
already started seeing that.
Yeah, right, some of the big streamers, it's happening more and more. I mean, this year alone, they've lost 5 or 6 big names at least.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
I mean, those people make up for, if you go for your average like day-to-day partner, like your average, beginning level partner, each one of those people were probably the equivalent of like 100 or 150 of them in terms of revenue, what they took with them. So it's a substantial amount. So going on, why not 70-30? When you first established the 50-50 revenue share split, it was to signal that we're in this together. You do all this amazing work. You do create great content, engage with your audience, and grow communities. On our side of the partnership, it's our responsibility to make continuous investments in the products and people that make your growth possible. At the time of this posting, more than 22,000 of you have weighed in on the user voice asking us to move all streamers to 70-30 and to pay streamers faster. Let's chat about the latter part first. As you probably heard by now, we're in the middle of rolling out the largest change to payouts in years by cutting the payout threshold in half to $50. This is an important middle step that will help streamers put money in their pockets now while getting us closer to our goal of same-day payouts and lower thresholds. Investments like these are paying off for streamers. Products like Prime Subs, Community Gifting, Hype Train, and the Ads Incentive Program, to name a few, have driven an increase of 27% more streamer revenue per viewer hour every year in the last 5 years. This means the same viewer hour now earns you 3 times more money than it did 5 years ago. On an average, our investments into your monetization options have already continued to put more money into streamers' pockets than 20% more subs revenue than they would have, or revenue share would have. So, but that's where the most of your money comes from, is your revenue. I mean, your revenue primarily is Twitch subs.
I mean, okay, so I mean, you just threw out a bunch of fucking numbers there, okay, buddy? So, and I'm going to put it in kind of plain terms. In my opinion, if you're just an affiliate and you've been an affiliate like me for a few years, right? I am okay with subs. The Twitch ads thing pisses me off because every time I stream, I get somebody that is always saying, oh, ads. Oh my God, there's 6 ads. Oh my God, there's 4 ads. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So that does force people to sub, which I think is okay for the content creator in a sense.
Well, then you have,
however,
just to stop you there, then you have Twitch Turbo on top of that, which is direct money to them to stop playing ads.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, and then we don't get a cut of that.
No. We don't get a cut of any of those.
No. So I'm really thinking that they're doing this because it's all about money, man. Inflation. And I guarantee you, if they were like CCP, oh, we're going to be talking about inflation, and this is why we're cutting your guys' Twitch subs from 70, 30 to 50-50. So everybody's going to go to 50-50 now because we need more revenue on the back end. However, but we'll make you more money with ads when you run 3-minute ads within an hour of each of your show.
But it's funny, like, so even on a high-end channel, you would only make anywhere between $20 and $70 a month on ads, which people have shown their own metrics just to prove like what the difference is. Somebody had an average of 450 or more concurrent viewers only was making less than $100 from that. But if you go and say you made 200 subs that month, but you're saying that another 20% of that is gonna make the 20% of that is gonna make a bigger difference in that ads revenue.
No,
which is stupid.
No,
but they're claiming
it's just so dumb.
27% increase more streamer revenue per viewer hour over the last 5 years, but it does, just because they paid for ads doesn't mean it's good. Like, it hasn't made up that difference. It's kind of a bullshit statement, to be honest.
And how many people got ad blockers anyways?
Exactly.
I mean, come on, dude.
I mean, some of them aren't even, some of them you can't even block around it too, which is kind of crappy.
Right. Right. But even with the ad blocker, so guess what? I'm not going to get that revenue from an ad blocker person that's using an ad blocker because it's not going to count.
No. So then going on to the next part, Prime subs often get lost in conversation when it comes to revenue share. For Prime subs, we pay streamers the same amount they'd receive on a regular subscription, even though it's included as an added benefit for their Prime subscription. Combined with other monetization products, Prime subs increase your effective revenue share by approximately 15% to about 65% total. This number varies by streamer size and location, but subscription revenue share is not the full picture of revenue share for streamers. Like, they keep trying to push it off saying, oh, subscriptions are not the big thing. Lastly, we have to talk about the cost of our service. Delivering high definition, low latency, always available live video to nearly every corner of the world is expensive. Using the published rates from Amazon Web Services, which is bullshit, they don't pay for those. Interactive Video Services, IVS, which is essentially the Twitch video. Live video cost for a 100 CCU streamer who streams about 200 hours a month or more than $1,000 per month. We don't typically talk about this because, frankly, you shouldn't have to think about it. We'd rather you focus on doing what you do best. But to fully answer the question of why not 70/30, ignoring the high cost of delivering a Twitch service would meant giving you an incomplete answer, which I don't think that answers the question either way. So yeah, your ad block doesn't work. Yeah, a lot of them don't anymore. So what's next? And the last part of this, when someone asks me why Twitch is the best place to make money as a streamer, my answer starts with, first and foremost, with community. Community on Twitch is real and tangible, from chat memes to subscriber emotes to TwitchCon meetups, and yes, to how streamers earn money. That's partially because of the work we do to equip you with the right tools, but it's primarily because streamers like you are putting yourselves out there, embracing what you're most passionate about, and building communities. We believe that the most compelling offer offering for streamers, and there's still more we can do. The best Twitch is the one we build together, and your feedback helps us evolve in the right direction. As always, if you have any feedback, best place to go is the Twitch user voice thing, which they link there. And I definitely suggest that to anybody who is even a viewer, is to go check this out. So it's definitely worth like making sure your voice is heard if it's something like we want changed. Or there's a lot of good recommendations in there. I check it out from time to time and vote on all the cool and important stuff for it. But kind of going off of this whole thing, what are some of your other thoughts on this one?
So with the way that the ads are, but this is my thought, but do you remember when you're a kid, right? It's Saturday morning or Sunday morning, you're sitting down with your bowl of cereal and you're watching your cartoons, right? So now I feel like this whenever I'm a viewer in somebody's Twitch channel, like a commercial comes on. Okay, great. And I got like 4 minutes or 4 or 5 minutes to go get a refill of my cereal or to go grab something else to eat. So, Twitch is a content channel, right? So I kind of get where they're coming from. I really do. I understand it. That doesn't mean that I have to like it, but it does help out the streamer in a sense that, hey, for those of you that really don't want to miss anything on the channel, etc., go ahead and subscribe by using your Twitch Prime. Twitch Prime's free, right?
Yeah.
And we don't get a bigger cut out of it, or go ahead and subscribe. It's $4.99 a month. At least they haven't increased those, thank God. But I guarantee you one day they're going to increase those. Now, once again, though, I am going to say this. I see a lot of people in the next 2 to 3 years switching over to YouTube because that's just the way things are going. Their payouts better. Their services are actually really good. If you guys have, for those of you who are streamers, their services are actually really, really good. So either way, let's see how it works. A bunch of people are going to be complaining about the ads, which I've already started seeing that even on my own channel. So it's just been crazy.
Yeah, and then the only way they really allow you to get around that, just to kind of make it fair for everybody, is running the ads like during your starting soon thing, so you don't have to play them for 3 hours. But then you have to take a forced break at 3 hours and play them again to not have anybody else have ads when they come in, or have it be disruptive when the user first comes in and says, "Hey, like I want to hang out," but they have to watch 2 minutes ads before they can actually respond to what's going on the screen.
Yeah, which is so stupid too, because that's the part that makes me mad, right? Is that in order for my newer viewers to come into my channel and to be able to speak right away and to hear what I'm saying, they got to sit through a freaking 4-minute ad thing. It drives me nuts.
Well, yeah, unless we run the ads at the way that they're suggesting that we do it to make more revenue on top of that, which just doesn't necessarily mean it's a thing. But the thing that sucks is there's not skippable ads either, or overlaid ads. Like you can't go and just put an ad on the top corner and let it play while you're watching the main stream, right? Like a picture-in-picture stream, which you can do on YouTube, even if your ad blocker doesn't work, right? So you can still you don't have to, you're not forced to watch it. You can at least skip it, or you can do it picture-in-picture or an overlay or whatever. It's not just forced on you.
Yep.
But kind of going on Burnout's question, ad blockers, don't most of them have a whitelist or a responsible advertiser subscription? No, not really. I don't think. And then the whitelist, I think, is Twitch Turbo, basically.
That's basically what it is. That's the only way you get around Turbo. But but the whole Twitch Turbo thing just reminds me of like the Walt Disney World Fast Pass thing or whatever. Here you go, purchase this pass, and we'll get you through everything quick, right? That's exactly what it just kind of reminds me of.
Yeah, and the other thing that I thought was interesting at the end of this blog post, they actually say the emails to streamers who might be impacted, and here's an example of what the email looks like. I mean, that's cool and all, but why show everybody that? I guess it's just to make sure everybody's on the same page, or be on the lookout if you've got this special agreement. I don't know. I
mean, I think that the people that have been used to their payout, like especially the higher end streamers that have a lot of subscriptions to their channels, they're going to see a huge decrease in their like in their subs beginning next year. So it's going to be crazy, and it's going to be, I bet you $10 at Twitter is going to be full of complaints towards Twitch.
And then on top of that, the only other thing I could say that's in a positive light is they're allowing streamers to stream on multiple platforms at once. Now, not necessarily the competitors. They don't want you on being on competitors at the same time as Twitch. So they don't want you on Facebook and YouTube
and on
at the
YouTube.
same, at the
But
same
they'll
time
let you
as
do it
Twitch,
on TikTok.
but they'll let you do it on TikTok or Instagram Live, which is kind of funny because I'm like, Instagram is owned by Facebook also, so you allow one of their services but not the other. Like, okay, it's just, yeah. So
that's kind of why. I mean, like, seriously, man, and like, no joke. That's probably why I'm going to start testing out a couple streams, maybe, you know, like a couple times a month on YouTube and see how that goes. Because I see a lot of people going to be switching to it.
Yeah, I could see it still doing. I mean, maybe one day we'll even test out this show on YouTube instead.
Yeah,
of,
exactly.
You know, this will be the one of the two shows that will probably be, you know, up for eligibility on that. So it could be something we do there. You know.
Yeah, but you never know, man. I mean, the world changes and we got to change with it. Because if we don't, then you're stuck back in a Stone Age, right? So
pretty
much.
All right, going on to the next topic. NDA event leaker gets caught. Apologizes and claims he did it for the clout. Going from Andy Chalk at PC Gamer. YouTuber Dan Allen was recently revealed as the real insider who leaked multiple major game reveals and broke at least one major NDA in the process. Streamer Dan Allen, who was revealed yesterday as the person behind the real insider, quote unquote, Twitter account that leaked, among other things, Ubisoft's big Assassin's Creed presentation, has apologized for his actions in a new video posted to YouTube saying he did it all for the clout and the buzz. His quote reads, quote, "I am ashamed of it. It was pathetic and it was just dishonest," Allen said in the video. A lot of you are reaching out and saying, "Why the fuck did you do it?" To be honest, it's clout. It's the buzz. It's being addicted to the thrill of thousands waiting for what you're going to say. When he wasn't posting leaks, Allen was running the Dan Allen Gaming channel on YouTube, which features a wide variety of gaming content, including guides, walkthroughs, interviews, and currently boasts nearly 200,000 subscribers. His regular streaming job may have offered the same monetary rush he felt while revealing major secrets ahead of everyone else in the world, but on the other hand, he's far less likely to be sued as a result of it. Speaking of which, Allen claimed his apology to that many of his leaks, such as one involving Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid, did not violate NDAs because they were mostly made up. Bullshit, the secondhand comments read. Half of the posts were educated guesses, Allen said. For example, I got a photo up of Kratos just before the Sony State of Play, and it was educated guess due to the fact that Kratos' voice actor, Christopher Judge, had retweeted the State of Play, so I figured it would be there, and it was. Allen may be looking to downplay the NDA violations involved with the leaks because of the potential consequences that could arise from them. Public shaming is no fun, but neither is being dragged to court for breaking legally binding contracts. And Ubisoft NDAs are no joke. As an example, part of May 2022 Rainbow Six Siege NDA received by the PC Gamer states the following. The parties acknowledge that any breach of the confidentiality by a party, its affiliates, representatives, and obligations hereunder could cause irreparable harm for which no award of money damages may be an adequate remedy. Accordingly, without prejudice to any other rights and remedies to a party might have, each party may be entitled to seek the remedies of injunction, specific performance, and other equitable relief for any threatened or actual breach of the provisions of this agreement, which is pretty nasty terms overall.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Seeking the remedies of injunction, specific performance, and other equitable relief. And it just kind of goes on. I was like, I don't want to read the rest of this because it's just legal terms.
It's just a bunch of legal jargon. So the whole thing is here, right? Dan Allen, that dude's got some balls. I mean, it was
because he did it. It literally was done in such a dumb way. He got caught because he was posting the insider information and he accidentally switched to his personal account and revealed it on his personal account
versus the fake account that he created, right?
As the insider, yeah. So
right,
he literally ousted himself on accident, which is
just dumb. I mean, I just don't know what to say about it, man. To be honest, because he has a lot of viewers, he has a lot of influence when it comes to these new games being released and things like that. And he said he did it for clout. First and foremost, how the hell can you do it for clout when nobody knew who was actually doing it? So that's my thing, because that's just the way I'm thinking.
Because people are excited about the channel.
Oh, right. So that's probably what he wanted, right? It's like, hey, I mean, because because that Twitter account has a lot of followers actually, which I looked it up. I'm surprised it hasn't been banned. I'm surprised he hasn't been banned from Twitch. I'm surprised he hasn't been banned from YouTube. Like, I'm just super surprised. But you know what? I guess when you make those platforms a lot of money, they might let a few things slide. So that we'll see.
Actually, I don't even see that channel up anymore.
I did it like when we first talked about it, like a couple, and I think it was last week or something. So is it not up anymore?
Oh yeah, no, here it is. Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's taking it down.
Oh, has he taken it down?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, the dude was so bored that he had to break some NDAs, even though he's trying to play off the NDA stuff. But I take my NDAs pretty serious. Like, I don't want to get sued.
Dan Allen Gaming,
right?
his main Twitter is also gone too now.
Oh, so his main Twitter's gone too?
Mm-hmm.
Or did he maybe just deactivate it?
Oh, they're all disabled. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, I mean, maybe he is getting some repercussions. Who knows?
Yeah. So that they go on a state. At the end of he says, at the end of the day, I'm just sorry. Alan said, I can't reverse time, but what I can do is be a better man moving forward and promise you that this will never happen again, quote unquote. No one has sued Alan at this time, at least we know of. If he avoids any trouble beyond feelings of remorse, that may be the last time an exposed leaker is excused by the industry. Ubisoft doesn't usually have an obvious target after a big leak, at least not that we know of, and certainly not when he has publicly confessed. Meanwhile, some game publishers have recently become bolder about wielding lawyers against individuals, such as Bungie, gone after Destiny 2 cheat makers and users with the courts. And last year, a teenager Fortnite player reached a settlement with Epic over alleged cheating. Cheating and NDA breaking are different things, but along with the GTA 6 hack and what feels like an overall increase of leaks, big studios could feasibly be feeling more and more on edge about protecting information and more likely to look on the course for deterrent.
I mean, if you think about it, dude, their games are their property, right? And if you break their NDA or cheat, they have the right to do that in any aspect. The question is it worth going after somebody like that, right? Now, after what Dan Allen did, I think.
Oh, somebody will at some point. It might not happen right away, but it's going to happen.
Right. So it's just because that was, because he's done hundreds of them. So, and these are big game titles that we're talking about, right? So definitely something is going to happen, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what happens with that. So moving on to our next topic, Cyberpunk is making a huge comeback with over 1 million not concurrent, but 1 million players per day thanks to the new patches and Edge Runner's Netflix anime. But do you think it'll last? What do you think?
So I'm going to actually start playing Cyberpunk again. They've done a lot of so they've done a lot of patches. They've done a lot of content fixing. Right. And I think that they're starting to listen to the community pretty well, to be honest, which they have been for the past 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
So I think that they got their heads out of their ass. They go, okay, fine. People are starting to come back to it because they're realizing, okay, the game's fixed. Let's play it. People are falling in love with it, which originally they hyped it up so bad. I mean, like big, right? I mean, they really, really did hype it up.
Oh, yeah.
So now people are starting to realize, okay, but this game might be really good. So hopefully, it will continue to do so. I mean, those are some great numbers, to be honest. Can't complain about those type of numbers for people playing. So I'm really looking forward to and I bought it when it first came out. And it was just unplayable, right? I was like, oh man, I just can't play this thing. So I've kind of kept clear of it. But after the past few months, after reading some articles and people's feedback and things like that, I'm probably going to pick it back up.
Yeah, there's some interesting news that was actually released too on it. It's that Cyberpunk 2077 beats The Witcher's 3 peak player record.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So 3 years ago, The Witcher 3 got 103,329 players. Just a few days ago, I believe, yesterday, actually, Cyberpunk hit 104,827, beating The Witcher 3's all-time peak. Now, it definitely says a lot for the fact that the game is on sale currently. The Netflix Edge Runner series probably has more to do with it than anything. and the fact that they've put tons and tons of time and work into the patches and actually like made it much better of a game. Now,
made quality of life patches for sure. Right.
All the quality of life stuff has definitely made a
Right.
big difference, along with the new expansion,
Mm-hmm.
announcement and everything coming next year and everything else. Now, going back on it, for me, I actually really enjoyed Witcher from the get-go. Yeah, it had some bugs here and there, but like what major Bethesda title or whatever doesn't have bugs from the get-go? Because I mean, they're just huge, massive worlds.
Right. Right.
But at the same time, nothing was like super game breaking to me, like people experienced on like the PlayStation 4 versions or anything. I played it on PC to start, and I'll probably replay it again on PC here again soon. But man, it's actually good to see that the game is getting the life it deserves, I think, after so long of being like under such crazy criticism.
Well, and I'm sorry, man, but it was just poorly. It was very poorly launched. Like the launch was horrible, and a lot of people were excited for it. They bought it, they played it. Launch was horrible. It didn't work well, and then a lot of people tried to stick with it, but then they just ended up leaving, playing other games that came out. So now they're starting to come back though because of all this new news that's coming out. Like you said, like the quality of life patches that they've been doing. So, I mean, and I'm going to tell people in chat, man, if you have it, download the patches and update it, and please let us know. I mean, because I think that'll be kind of cool because I'm going to do it. So
yeah, and then Edge Runners has had a huge effect on it too, which I haven't watched it yet. I'm excited to watch it because I love like really cool animes based on other stuff. Like I really love the ones that related to Altered Carbon, for example. Those were really great. That was a great show that I think ended too soon on Netflix. I think that needed another few seasons.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good show too.
I mean, the first season was so phenomenal. The second one was a little less than desirable than the first one, but it's just because the story paced differently. It wasn't necessarily bad or wasn't bad pacing. It was just different.
Well, I mean, a lot of these major movie companies or TV show companies, man, but they go too fast whenever they're trying to cancel something. I mean, not every episode or show is going to be a huge hit, but obviously they're all just thinking about, well, they didn't have that much people watching this week, so we're going to cancel it for next season or whatever, which just makes me mad anyways. But anyways.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, but that went on a tangent right there.
No, it's all good. But yeah, between that, I mean, there's a ton of stuff that's really good. I mean, the game itself, like I played it again recently when I got my new 30 series graphics card just to try out all the DLSS stuff and everything. And it was great. Like it ran great. It was super fun still. Definitely a lot more polished since the last time. A couple of the bugs I had initially got my first, very first playthrough when it launched in December 2020 definitely have been fixed since then. And it's just a way smoother experience now. I mean, it's exactly how it was meant to be played. And at the same time, like, I don't think it was a bad launch, but it was a bad launch because it was overhyped at the time. And it was one
no. And I will disagree with you, man. I don't think it was overhyped. I think it was overpromised.
Well, yeah, some things that they originally promised didn't make it into the final cut ultimately, which definitely was a problem. And they didn't clarify that, that was no longer a thing or whatever, because who wants to hear about something that was removed versus something that was actually added into the game. But at the same time, like I still think that even aside of the overpromises, the hype level for the game was so high because of the people. They only released the stuff, like they kept doing all the little Night City updates or whatever, a couple months up to the launch. And since COVID, we were all in lockdown, we did it all remote. So it was all kind of like these little broadcasts for like an hour or two at a time, right?
Right.
I think it was an hour or less every time. But I think that played into a big thing because people were going, bending over backwards trying to make news out of the game. Like, oh, here's all this other stuff. Oh, here's this stuff. And a lot of it was speculation and overhype, I think, on the player base. Not to say that, they didn't release the game in a good state, especially on consoles at the time, last gen consoles. But
I mean, well, the PC was shit too, though. But come on, man.
PC wasn't that bad though.
Dude, overall. The PC was shit.
I didn't have any crashes on the original launch.
Well, that's because you have like a rocket ship for a PC, man. All right, but and us regular people here that got a normal PC couldn't play it. Okay.
Wasn't that good? I didn't even have an RTX graphic card or nothing. So no.
I'm just playing, man.
But yeah, it's good to hear that it's finally getting a new life though overall, and people are actually enjoying it based on all the work that the team has done. Yep. I even saw another comment from one of the previous devs on SCD Projekt Red that was congratulating the team for the good work and finally happy to see that their hard work had paid off for the game by the time the game was that they wanted to see originally at launch, but did not, unfortunately.
Well, I say, but it's been what, 2 years now since it's been released?
Almost 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
December, it'll be 2 years.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, like we've seen redemption stories in some of these games. I mean,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I don't think Cyberpunk 2077 was the most overpromised game. The one game that always comes to mind for the most overpromised game that has made the biggest comeback since then has been No Man's Sky. That had way more promises that never made it into the original launch. And then they've delivered on those since then and more. And they've all been free updates. Like you don't have to pay for anything. It's just, they just want people to play the game.
I'm actually still waiting for another company. We won't mention the name of it for them to fulfill their promises. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, that one in particular that most people here might know has not had a good track record of fulfilling their promises. So,
right. We'll see. Right, so then we'll see.
We will see. TBD on that one. TBD.
Yeah. TBD. All right.
Going on to the next topic, we got Spider-Man Miles Morales making its way to PC, but what is it looking like for the future of games from Sony on the PC platform now? I mean, we're seeing more and more and more of these games coming out from Sony Studios, like their first party games coming to PC gaming, and I think they're all getting like their second life basically from this too. I think.
Right. And I'm super excited, man. Sony has always made quality stuff, and I'm not gonna lie. And I have like 4 of their TVs in my house, and I've had them for years, man. Sony makes good quality stuff. I hope that they bring that same type of manufacturing and work ethic and, kind of power into the PC side of things. So we'll definitely see. But then they got a huge name too, right? So, I mean, who doesn't know Sony? Everybody knows Sony. So I'm pretty excited to see them. I'm pretty excited to see what they're going to bring over. I'm pretty excited who they're going to partner up with. I'm going to see like if they're going to be making new things or if they're only going to be kind of revamping certain things or what, but I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's just making that ease of access overall better. I mean, because to kind of go on this, I think it's a partial side effect of what's happening with Xbox Game Pass. Right. Xbox Game Pass has had such a big resurgence, being able to, or not just a resurgence, but a general overall growth in the last few years, because it is literally, as anybody could say, is the best deal in gaming. You pay $10 to $15 a month depending on the platform you're trying to pick from, and you get all the games that are on Game Pass day one launch, and it's on PC and Xbox usually at the same time, and they're all good quality games overall. Now, granted, some games are not the same level of the Sony games yet, but there's so many projects that are in the works at Microsoft that it's only going to get better over time, I would imagine. Well,
I mean, it's definitely better than doing the whole red box thing, right? Where you can go rent a game and play it and then take it back, right? I mean, when you do that Xbox Pass thing, which I have because of you, thank you, by the way. I mean, it's a hell of a deal. And there's so many games which I'd love to play. Just like if I'm getting tired of playing one different game or whatever, then I'm pretty cool. And I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, you lose no money on it either, right?
Yeah, right. No, I mean, and then the cool thing is, like, if I truly do love the game, then I'll actually just end up buying it. So
yeah, and then and as probably mentioned, the gaming service, the cloud gaming service is also great. It's already bundled in with Xbox Game Pass, which makes it even better. So you can still play it on your devices on the go. You can play it on your PC. You can swap over to your Xbox, which is surprisingly one of those things that I actually do on my own. So right. I can see it being like a huge thing as long as they keep bringing some of these games out. I just wish there was kind of like some kind of standard timeline, but at the same time, I could also see them not doing the standard timeline for how long it'll take their games to reach PC by the time they release it on PlayStation exclusive. Well,
see, I mean, and I really think that they might correlate the games just like what Microsoft's doing, right, for PC versus their Xbox. And I really think like they will start to release their games on both at the same time, because I think that's a smart move for them, because they're going to get the PC console player, but the PC players at the same time as getting the console player. So why not do that?
It's just a whole other market, they could grow into.
Yeah, I mean, and PC gaming is a huge freaking market. It's just huge.
Yeah, so. And I mean, it's just stuff they could dive into. Plus, like, people love modding the games too, and just having other fun with all the crazy stuff that you see that you normally wouldn't see on the console version.
Right. And I mean, like, playing maps that people have created are way better sometimes than actually playing the maps that came with the game. Right.
But But yeah, Miles Morales is super fun. I mean, I'm sure that was already in the works once they got the big hype from the main Spider-Man remaster that came out. I mean, it's done nothing but good, and people have replayed it. I mean, I love playing it. I've replayed it actually on my PS5, including Miles Morales, and it's super fun.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I never played one Spider-Man game.
Oh man,
but I've heard that they're awesome.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I mean, just the traversal alone is just fun by itself. So it makes the game not feel like work. It's just fun to travel around, and then the combat and everything else is just added on fun and bonus. Especially the stories. The stories are great. The game, the missions are great. The voiceovers and animation and everything is all great. I mean, I can't speak.
Yeah, I mean, and I played like a lot of the Batman games, which I love the Batman video games.
Oh, it's a whole nother level above those, I think.
No way, really? Because Batman's pretty cool, man.
Batman's pretty cool, but the Spider-Man games, I think, in my opinion, have it beat.
Really? Okay. Well, then I'm gonna have to test it out, man.
I played both. I have them all. Like I play all of the superheroes that are actually decent.
The same for the most part, but there's a certain superheroes who I really don't care for. I'm waiting for a Doctor Strange game to come out because I really want to play that one.
That'd be dope. Also, I mean, we heard about the Iron Man game that also got announced recently too.
Yeah, which is going to be awesome.
Just a name drop, but no gameplay, nothing beyond just a title, basically.
Yeah.
So that'll be a few years before we hear more about that. But we don't have to wait that long. Splinter Cell on our next story. Splinter Cell's remake is being rewritten for a modern day audience.
That's crazy.
An Ubisoft job listing reveals the story is being redone to bring Sam Fisher's original adventure into a new era. This comes from Andy Chalk over at PC Gamer. After years of making fans suffer, Ubisoft finally announced in December 2021 that Splinter Cell is seriously and for real coming back in a full remake that is promised will accommodate and the redefined palette of modern gamers. Courtesy of Ubisoft Toronto job listing spotted by a PlayStation Universe, we've now got a slightly better idea of what that means. Rather than a straight-up remaster of the original Splinter Cell, producer Matt West said when the remake was announced that developers are rebuilding it from the ground up while trying to ensure that the spirit of the early games remains intact. A visual overhaul is obviously in the cards. Sorry to tell you this, but Splinter Cell is 20 years old and some design elements are also being redone to match player comfort and expectations, which is well appreciated at this point. We're going to be straddling the line between the spirit of the old one and the comfort of the new so that we can excite and surprise new players, but also make sure that our returning players pick up the controller, that they have the sigh of relief saying, they got it, West said at the time. But along with updates to technology and accessibility, the job listing for Splinter Cell scriptwriter indicates that the story is also going to be extensively rejiggered. Kind of a weird word to throw in there.
That is a weird word, yes.
I would just say extensively reworked.
Yeah, there you go.
Using this first Splinter Cell game as our foundation, we are rewriting and updating the story for a modern day audience. It states, we want to keep the spirit of the game in the original games while exploring our characters and the world that make them more authentic and believable. As a scriptwriter at Ubisoft Toronto, you'll join the narrative team to help create a cohesive and compelling narrative experience for the new audience of Splinter Cell fans. It's been a long time since I've played Splinter Cell, so I can't say I recall any aspect of the game that leaps out as being an immediate need of change, but the world itself has changed over the past couple of decades, and Splinter Cell's complicated mix of ex-Soviet strongmen and Chinese renegades and the inherent jingoism of Tom Clancy's worldview in general
Okay.
Probably wouldn't go over with a broad audience of gamers as well as it did in 2002, nor, for that matter, it would make a hell of a lot of sense. Georgia, the country that is the center of Splinter Cell, was an independent nation in 2002, but has been under partial Russian occupation since 2008 invasion. As an updated story, an updated story is fine by me. I don't consider the original Splinter Cell narrative to be such a classic of storytelling that it needs to be preserved in amber of all eternity. What I am somewhat hung up on is the possibility and likelihood of a new voice actor for the lead character. Michael Ironside embodied Sam Fisher to perfection in my ears, and I'm just not sure I can accept anyone else in that role. And yes, I brought this up when the remake was announced too. I'm very serious about it, he says.
Oh my God. Do you know what it kind of reminds me of? Like what Walt Disney's doing right now with all of their original anime movies, like, Beauty and the Beast and all that, and now it's all turning into like real life movies. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is what this is doing.
A little bit.
hey guys, guess what? We're gonna take this great story, great game, and we're gonna remake it with new actors, new storyline,
I don't
but it's
think
gonna
it's
be the
just
same
that.
thing.
I think it's just going
But
and
you know,
and kind of relating stuff to real world terms more so because the world's changed quite a bit since then. And they used at the
I'm
time real world politics in that.
right. So what are they gonna bring in here? I mean, and I'm
Yeah.
actually kind of afraid to play it on stream or anything because I'm like, okay, are they gonna be bringing in the cancel culture or like, I mean,
I don't think it'll be anything like
eh,
that. It'll just be some kind of new version
or
of
are we talking
whatever.
like the politics,
I
like
think it's
true
the real.
politics?
I think it's real world true politics. I think is what they're kind of pushing now.
Okay.
I think that's the
I mean,
majority of what it'll be ultimately.
I mean, so then we'll see. I mean, now Splinter Cell was a great game though. Like, so
Oh
I
man,
mean,
it's still to this day one of my like my hands down.
yeah,
It's my top 5 like favorite game series like I've ever played.
yeah, like it's a really, really great game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do with it. I think that they're smart by revealing certain things right now, which is awesome. Because it's gonna get the hype brought back up for them, and they're gonna make a lot of money with it too. You know, so
I just hope it's like Ubisoft's chance to kind of bring back things to kind of more true form for them because like we mentioned this in a couple episodes ago that we were talking about the Ubisoft thing and it's like
yeah.
how excited are people really for Ubisoft games these days when they're kind of
Yeah,
the
because
same
they've been
cookie cutter
blocked for what, the past 10 years
I wouldn't say 10. I would say at
or
least 8,
5?
like at least 5 to 8
Okay,
because they've
fine.
kind of come up with this whole like open world like checklist simulator
Right,
basically.
right.
And in
Yeah.
some games it works really well like the Assassin's Creed, I think to some degree works well with it, but it also works as it did in like the earlier games where it was more like
Mhm.
story driven. You played it, you beat it in 10 to 12 hours, and there you go, 10 to 20 hours or something, and then you're good, right? But then when you
Right.
came in and you just open world checklist simulator, you just gotta go through and complete all the little things like Far Cry, for example. Far Cry is another one that's like super infamous for having just like tons of shit littered around the map and trying to collect everything or do everything to get it all done. Or it's not necessarily an Ubisoft game, but Just Cause also
Oh, right, right,
was
right.
very much like
I mean, so maybe they're trying to redeem themselves, right? By doing what they were good at years ago. So, I mean,
Tom Clancy
sometimes, but
games.
that's okay.
That
Right.
was their like bread and butter. Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
still yearn for the day that they redo more traditional like shooter sim, like the old
Hmm.
original Rainbow Six, like the original
Oh,
Rainbow Six
man.
games.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
those were
yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
Yep.
Or I mean, hell, like Sony, hint hint, bring back SOCOM,
Dude, SOCOM was a great game.
dude.
I mean,
SOCOM.
now Sony might bring it back, man, because they're doing a lot lately. So then we'll see.
I would love like if I was gonna go like on off the subject of Splinter Cell. If I was gonna go for a remake or something right now, there's like 3 games that I'd absolutely love to see. One of them would be SOCOM, like a new modern day
SOCOM,
SOCOM.
right? Right.
Another one would be Legend of Dragoon,
Hmm.
which was a great
I never
PlayStation
played
1.
that one.
Oh, it's a great PlayStation 1 era game where you could transform and have all kinds of cool stuff. It was JRPG ish.
Okay.
And then the third one would be a new version of Warhawk for modern
Okay.
audiences. I could
Yeah,
see
yeah, yeah.
if you brought Warhawk and brought it on PlayStation, you brought it on everything. You don't do that when it's exclusive. You just bring it out on everything and bring it out as a Sony first party thing and then have crossplay with it. It would probably be one of the most fun games that anybody ever plays, especially if you do it in like the war mode like they originally had in the
Hmm.
first
Hmm.
version. Like, oh my god, because Starhawk came out afterwards. It was like the spiritual successor to it. Wasn't necessarily the same kind of thing, but it just wasn't as good. They tried to make it like an alien infection thing, and it was just lame. Like, just bring back Warhawk. You're fine.
Well, maybe you should write them a letter so that way they can bring it back.
Oh yeah, no, I've been very vocal over the years with that. Like,
Have you? Okay.
just keep bringing, just bring back Legend of Dragoon, bring back SOCOM.
Okay.
SOCOM's more
Yeah.
come up on and off, like as they try to tease those things. Like that was definitely one of the best multiplayer games I ever played in that era, and I think it could be done again. I think.
Well, well, and I know that this isn't on our topic list, man, but I'm pretty excited about it because I just got into the beta or the open beta for Modern Warfare 2, right? And I'm a huge Modern Warfare fan, along with the Black Ops fan stuff. So I'm super excited because the gameplay is actually pretty damn good. It's like they're bringing back the old type of gameplay, but it's an updated story. It's just because now we are on the topic, right? So it's really cool so far, and I'm pretty excited to share that with everybody too soon.
Oh yeah. I got to play some of it. And last night I was just on the sweaty of sweats last night, so I ended up not
Oh,
playing it too
dude,
long.
it's so toxic though. Oh my god. I mean, but they actually make you sign this agreement that you won't be toxic before you can play. Oh, it was so super toxic still. But I'm an original COD player, right? So the toxicity just comes along with COD. So
yeah, my least favorite comment, and I'm sure people other like still love doing it. I don't even like saying it to people because it is super toxic and it pisses me off every time I see it. Is GG easy?
Yeah, GG easy.
I hate that term brought up in chat. I was like, I'll write GG. I'll always write GG because I want to be a good sport, right? But like GG easy, like you can go fuck yourself if you say that
one. Dude, and I've said that many times in many games, man. That's just part of it. All right?
Oh man, it's toxic. Part of the problem, Ninja. It's part of the problem.
I get that, and I don't do it all the time, right? But to be honest, man, the only time when I would ever do something like that is if the other team was talking smack for the entire game.
Oh yeah,
and then I win at the end. Okay, that's when I'll say that.
And I could see it. I could totally.
Okay. See it. Yeah. Right. Okay. Anyway.
That wraps up our topics for today.
Oh, dude, but it's been an hour already.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's been an hour.
Wow.
We breezed through those topics.
All right.
Jinjo will be back here shortly. We're going to be playing some Spider Heck.
Spider Heck. Be here for Spidey senses. It's actually pretty cool. We actually played a little bit before, so it's a really cool game.
We will be running a giveaway for that game here shortly too. So we're going to be giving away a Steam key of Spider Heck. Definitely come and check it out if you guys want to get in on Spider Heck and try to win it. Play it.
Probably give me like 10, 15 minutes, guys, so that way I can eat and real quick and go use the restroom and stuff, and then I'll be back.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for this episode of Cartridge to Cloud, and we'll see you all next week.
See you guys.
Have a good one.